welcome to Finfine News Network, FNN News. I'm your host, Sibel. In news on Oromia, the regional government has announced that several civilians in the East Showa zone, including Karrayyu Abagada, Kadir Hawas Boru, and also blaming those deaths on the OLA. A statement from the government reads, Oromia regional government expresses its sadness about the killing of the terrorist Shani Abagada Karrayyu Kadir Hawas Boru. Shani's aim is to humiliate Oromo every chance they get. Shani being the name that is often used to refer to the OLA by government agencies or bodies. And here we're showing one of the victims of this attack. This right here, Abagada Jilu Didu, one of the victims of this attack who was found dead. The OLA also released a statement the day afterwards stating that the government had in fact been responsible for the deaths. And also OLA spokesperson Oda Tarbi reported via Twitter that the death toll was in fact 23 and claimed that the violence was in retaliation after there were government forces that had attempted to recruit soldiers to the government's army in the area, and those efforts were rejected. Meanwhile, an anonymous source who allegedly witnessed the incident told the Addis Standard, we'll put up that article here, quoting this anonymous witness. So the Addis Standard here, quoting an anonymous witness who imparted, according to them, government forces attempted to arrest 41 people at a religious ceremony and then took them away shortly before bodies were found. This anonymous source told the Addis Standard that the detained people were, quote, forced to hand over their weapons and traditional armaments before government forces, quote, drove them to a remote area called Anole. They beat them while they begged to be told what they did wrong. And then 2 of the detainees reportedly escaped capture and went and informed local elders of what had happened, after which a search began of the area and the confirmed 14 bodies were recovered. And the source continues, quote, the people are in absolute shock and terror. The government forces continue to beat and harass the community in several areas of the Wareda. If Shani is responsible, why didn't the government help us find them Wednesday through Thursday? Why aren't they here searching for the remaining people with us? Why don't they hold the perpetrators accountable? And Hailu Anduga, who is the head of the local Oromia Communications Bureau, actually refused to give any additional information to the outlet regarding the killings and stated, quote, it is not appropriate to divulge operations being undertaken by government forces as it might reach the enemy. In other news on Oromo political prisoners, the legal team that is representing Jawar Mohammed won a major victory on Friday and dismissed an appeal that was presented by the prosecutors. The prosecutors would have been able to proceed with hearings even though there were 4 prisoners that were absent from court. Those 4 prisoners, including Jawar Mohammed, Bekele Gerba, Hamza Adane, and Dejene Tafa, all those are 4 political prisoners who, in protest of the inhumane and unjust treatment of prisoners, refused to come to court, also protesting extrajudicial killings around the country. And that hearing for Jawar Mohammed is going to resume next Wednesday. Meanwhile, on news in the trial of Lamrot Kamal, who is the person who is the primary suspect in the assassination of popular Oromo singer and political activist Hachalo Hundessa, here we're showing an image here of Lamrot Kamal, primary suspect in the case. Kamal came up empty-handed in court when she was asked to provide evidence that would have supported her innocence in the case. And the court is now, due to the fact that she doesn't have any evidence to put up, the court is now going to proceed with the prosecutor's evidence. Previously, Lamrot had been granted a bail of 5,000 Ethiopian birrs last month after she was charged with felony committed by negligence, and she is believed to be the sole witness in the murder of Hachalu. And in more local news on Oromia, the forced conscription of Oromo youth into the government forces has continued. And footage obtained by FNN News shows some young students in Guinea in the Bale zone running from government forces who are attempting to conscript them. So we'll show a clip of that incident here.
Warabin po ati ko na. Asalam mo wala ka warabin. Allah ko ng dawam para kana mo wadan. Para sigo. Amma boss sigo. Gade na wala wala na. So sa dali no करते. Sudah ba jawan data ni.
So again, that is youth in the Bale zone who are running away from government forces that are attempting to forcibly conscript them into the army. In news on the civil war, the government forces claimed on Monday to have retaken the important towns of Desi and Kombolcha, which are located around 250 miles northeast of the capital Finfinne on the A2 highway. And a statement released by the government claimed that the army had also taken hold of the town of Batin, Kersan, Gerban, and Dagan, located on the Eastern Front and virtually the entire Harbu Front. However, the TPLF has claimed that actually that Tigrayan People's Liberation Front army had essentially left those areas because it was according to plan. We'll put that tweet up here. So again, TPLF spokesperson Getachew Reda writing here, "We left North Shoa, Kombolcha, and Desi as part of our plan. There was no organized unit to liberate these towns, and the residents know it, and Abi's generals know it. Things are going according to our plan. The rest is just circus. As we always say, Tigray shall prevail." So that's the TPLF spokesperson commenting on that. Because of a communications blackout in the area during the time, independent sources have not been able to fully confirm if either of those claims are correct. And that comes after Prime Minister Abiy earlier announced that government forces had also retaken the town of Lalibela, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. In international relations with Ethiopia, the U.S. State Department has released a joint statement with Australia, Canada, Denmark, the Netherlands, and the United Kingdom, expressing concern about widespread reports of mass detentions carried out by government forces and the Ethiopian government. The statement reads here that reports by the Ethiopian Human Rights Commission and Amnesty International describe widespread arrests of ethnic Tigrayans, including Orthodox priests, older people, and mothers with children. Individuals are being arrested and detained without charges or a court hearing and are reportedly being held in inhumane conditions. Many of these acts likely constitute violations of international law and must cease immediately. We urge unhindered and timely access by international monitors. And in response, Bilene Seyum, who is a spokesperson for Prime Minister Abiy, addressed that statement from those countries that is the US, Australia, Canada, Denmark, the Netherlands, and the UK, she addressed this in a press conference and stated that the detentions were in fact not at all based upon ethnic identity and were in fact based on what she called credible evidence and testimony. So we'll show a quick clip of her assertion from that press conference.
Call that has been made. We had already indicated on several occasions that the state of emergency is not targeted at any particular group of people based on their ethnic identity or any form of protected category to which they belong to.
So again, that is a spokesperson for Prime Minister Abiy rejecting reports from Amnesty International as well as the UN and the Ethiopian Human Rights Commission that the government has been carrying out essentially vast and widespread detentions of Ethiopians, especially in the capital, based upon ethnic identity. And those have primarily targeted Tigrayans, have also affected Oromos living mostly around the capital, but again, very, very widespread detentions that have been reported on by international humanitarian rights organizations. So we will continue to update you on the ongoing conflict in Ethiopia, as well as local news on Oromia. Thank you again for watching FNN News, Finfine News Network, and I am your host, Sibel.